When we think of the idea of holy, so often what we think about is being moral, being pure, being separate from the world. We use words like that, and that's fair enough. That's part of the sense of the word holy. But before holiness is any of those things, holiness means to be claimed by God, to be absorbed by his presence. Think some of these scenes of the guys who got a picture of heaven. Guys like Isaiah, guys like Apostle John, the book of Revelation, chapter 4 and chapter 5, maybe the greatest worship service. No, it is the greatest worship service happening in history. And those living beings all day long, this holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty. They're not saying moral, moral, moral. Separate, separate, separate is the Lord God. No, they are in awe. He's so transcendent. He's so magnificent. He's so enormous. They can't even describe it. Like when somebody says, holy cow. Do people still say that? Or holy Mackinaw. What you're saying by that is, I can't describe what I just saw. And that is just the beginning of thinking about God's holiness. When we say holy, we're talking about a God who is so above us, so otherworldly that we can't even really put English words to it. Or think about Moses. Moses is kind of doing his own thing. He's walking around and he sees a bush that's burning but not consumed. And so he goes up to it, and what does the Lord say to him through the bush? Take off those sandals. You're on holy ground. And he's not saying you're on separate ground. He's not saying you're on moral ground. He's saying this ground right here has been enveloped. It's been taken over by the presence of God. It's been repoed by God. You're in God's country now. This is a holy place. That's what he was trying to get Moses to understand. Holiness can't be detached from God. The reason that we live holy, as Peter says, is because our life has been so filled up by God's presence and his purpose for us that really there's no other way that we could live. It makes us change, and we need to respond. And so morality, purity, being separate or different from the world around us, those are all a part of it, but they're not the thing. They're byproducts. They're the fixings on top of the entree.